Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors are now paying a steep price for controversial rotation tactic. In many ways Draymond Green revolutionized basketball, and the idea of small ball lineups with the veteran forward having often proved so effective, playing well above his size as the center in many Golden State Warriors lineups. But for as fruitful as Green has been as a small ball five, the downside has always surrounded his body and how battling on the interior against the league's best big men would impact his longevity. Green returned from a 3-game absence against the Washington Wizards on Saturday, only to leave just 3 minutes in due to a calf injury. After initially labeling it as calf tightness, the Warriors confirmed that Green will miss Monday's meeting with the Boston Celtics due to a strain that's likely to keep him sidelined for more games to come. Perhaps this new calf issue is just a freak injury that could have never been forecast, but it's surely not a total coincidence that Green and fellow veteran Kyle Anderson are now both out of the lineup after a recent period in which Steve Kerr lent heavily on small ball lineups for a 9-game stretch between December 23 and January 7. K controversially left backup and enter Kevin Looney largely out of the rotation. The 3x champion played just 50 minutes across the 9 games, and average of less than 6 minutes per game that also included 4 DMPS during that same span. Starting center Tracy Jackson-Davis averaged 26 minutes. Combine the minutes of the center pair and that leaves at least 16 minutes per game where Golden State were utilizing Green or Anderson as small ball 5. Fast forward less than 2 weeks and the Warriors may now be paying a steep price for that. While it's impossible to quantify how much of an impact, if any, the small ball minutes may have had on Green and Anderson's respective injuries, you can bet that they certainly wouldn't be helping in keeping the veteran pair at physical condition. Golden State are now left without any of their usual power forward options, with Jonathan Kinger having suffered more of a freak injury earlier in the month when he turned his ankle significantly against the Memphis Grizzlies. Steve Kerr may now be left to start second forward Gasantis in Green's absence, while for the wing Moses Moody has also taken a surprise power forward role over recent games. It's something the Warriors can't really afford as they try and cling to a spot in the play-in tournament, but it's also the consequences of putting a significant physical toll on two players who are well and truly into the latter years of their career. Celtics Warriors Notebook book. Steve Kerr and Steph Curry say Celtics fans shouldn't worry. New sub-pattern benefits Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. It's only one win and it was against the short-handed and struggling Golden State Warriors, but it was as resounding and much needed as they come with the 125-85 thrashing of their Warriors on MLK Day. The Celtics improved to 30-13 on the season and open up another 4-game Western Conference road trip with a victory. Their Warriors meanwhile were without Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski, and looked pretty lifeless from the start. Chase Center was one of the quieter NBA arenas the Celtics have visited in recent weeks, and the Warriors, who shot 34.8% from the field on the night, didn't give the crowd much to cheer for. Still, this was a strong two-way performance by Boston and a great start to the trip. Joe Mazzulla praised the Celtics' physicality after the win. Tatum finished the night with 22 points, 9 to 20 FG, 9 rebounds and 7 assists. Kristaps Porzingis continued his strong offensive play with 18 points on 6 to 13 shooting alongside 7 rebounds, and Jaylen Brown posted an efficient 17 points on 8 to 14 shooting. In total, 6 Celtics scored in double figures, including Drew Holiday 10 points, on 4 to 5 shooting, Sam Howard 11 points on 4 to 7 shooting, and Peyton Pritchard 14 points on 5 to 10 shooting. 9 assists. That well-balanced attack allowed the Celtics to rack up 33 assists, nearly 8 more than their season average of 25.3 for most of this season. Jason Tatum has played the entire first quarter and Jaylen Brown has subbed out at the 6-minute marker occasionally when Brown has really had it going offensively. He's played the entire first quarter as he did all of last season, but for the past 2 games Joe Mauler and the Celtics coaching staff have mixed it up, having Jason Jason Tatum sub out at the 6-minute mark like he did for much of last season, and then having him check back in for Jaylen Brown for the final 3 minutes. In effect, that has meant that rather than having one of the Celtics All-Stars play 12 first quarter minutes and the other play 6 minutes, each has played 9 minutes. Brown has appreciated the rotation change, and he's voiced on a number of occasions that not playing the entire first quarter made things more difficult. I'm usually the one that set the tone for the team, so at times not being out, we kind of have a sluggish start. Brown said, I feel like at different times at my career that's been me to help negate that different year things get switched up, and you just got to be alright with that. I don't really complain or anything, I just try to come out and be the best version of myself. The Celtics jumped out to an early 8-0 lead and finished the first quarter up 29-8, setting a great tone for the rest of the night. The substitution pattern change is far from the only reason for the solid start, but it'll be interesting to see if Mailer and company shift toward this new pattern on a more regular basis. Golden State Warriors must trade for Chicago Bulls player before deadline. The Golden State Warriors find themselves in shaky territory right now with a 21-20 record. They are on the outside looking in when it comes to the championship contention picture. Despite Steph Curry's undeniable greatness, the roster's inconsistency has highlighted the need for reinforcements after a solid start to the season that saw them reach the top of the West. The Warriors have hit a rough patch and are on a 9-7 run, and even Curry seems to be slowing down a bit as he approaches his 37th birthday. The Warriors need to find a solution quickly if they are to have any chance of competing for a ring this season. Zach LaVine could be the answer to their struggles. LaVine has been a bright spot for the Chicago Bulls, averaging 23.7 points, 4.9 rebounds and 4.6 assists per game this season. His shooting efficiency 51.3% from the field and 45.1% from three-point range fit seamlessly into Steve Kerr's system. Adding LaVine would give Golden State a dynamic second scorer behind Curry, whose 23.0 points per game currently lead the team. Without another consistent offensive outlet, the Warriors lack the firepower to keep up with top Western Conference contenders. LaVine's ability to carry the offense when needed would also ease the burden on Curry, allowing him to remain fresh for crucial late-game situations. His scoring versatility and athleticism would complement the Warrior style. At 29 years old, he also offers long-term value as Golden State plans for a future beyond Curry. LaVine's scoring prowess could help bridge the gap to the next era when the time comes. While his defense remains a question mark, his offensive upside makes it a risk worth taking. However, acquiring LaVine won't come cheap. His mega contract poses challenges, and any potential trade package would probably need to include Andrew Wiggins. While the Warriors have been reluctant to part with draft picks, adding future assets might be necessary to entice Chicago into making the deal. With the trade deadline fast approaching, the Warriors must decide if they're willing to bet on LaVine to salvage their season. While it's no guarantee of another championship, acquiring the Bull superstar could re-establish Golden State as a legitimate playoff threat and maximize what remains of Curry's prime. And you fan, what do you think of the situation of Zach LaVine? Leave your opinion in the comments.